You're welcome back to News Insight. Hello, guys.
Yep.
I'll be coming to your house to knock at your door to let you know what Asiwaju has done for Nigeria.
Door to door.
Your voice, add your voice.
And I'll go to your own door to let you know that
add my voice.
That P2B is coming for 2027. That look at what he said he would do, and look at what he did as a governor. You know, there is this publication across certain roads in Abuja. You know, Asiwaju door-to-door, Asiwaju campaign.
It's also in Asaba.
In Asaba, in many cities.
Main road in Asaba, you see it.
You see it, door-to-door campaign about Asiwaju. A lot of people are also doing their own. We'll get back to P2B on but let's deal with Asiwaju's own. You know, I'm curious. Is that the best? Even though it's a campaign money. Is that the best way of spending it? Why, if I'm to be advisor of Asiwaju, for example, or whoever that did that for him, rather than use that money to put signposts.
You don't need to look far for who did it.
Yes.
The picture is there.
In some of them, yeah, some of them.
Yeah?
Some of them, the pictures are
of
there.
the door-to-door picture is
there. Now, the monitor of doing some of those pictures, putting some of those pictures, why not really use that money to do the things that will knock at people's door? Because hunger is knocking at people's door in Nigeria. That money can provide food or infrastructure that will stimulate employment that will knock at people's door. Do you think it's not too early? Do you think it's ripe to start doing things like that?
I think, you know, the funny thing about the whole thing is that for the past 1 year, we've all been engrossed in thick political maneuverings. In the past,
and we just finished the election.
And we just finished the election in 1 year. At least you would have given it the next 3 years. Let us ascertain and look at the impact of this present administration in the political circle, in the economical circle, in the social life of people.
Yeah.
Security, for example. But they didn't give it that good time for us to ascertain. They started talking about politics. And the way they are talking about the politics is very deep. For example, there is a big gulf between the rich and the poor. When we were growing up, we had people that were middle class. We had people that
working class family.
People that did business and could travel abroad once in a year,
yes.
Though they are not that rich.
Yes.
People that could send their kids to school. Then people that could build a 3-bedroom bungalow and live, and they are okay.
Now you said that you are inexplicably rich without a source of without work.
Yeah, and you are damnly poor.
Okay,
this golf.
I'll get back to you.
Yes.
Philip, you mentioned that people sponsoring that programs are there, and apart from that program, there are other talking about even people the campaign and moving into APC and all that. A lot of politicking, you know, going into 2027 that is about 2 years away. And a president who promised us a lot is yet to, you know, deliver a lot. But he still has time. Like I said, miracle can happen between now and 2027 and Nigerians will come out en masse and vote for Asiwaju. Why don't they concentrate on door-to-door knock by using their performance? Everybody in Nigeria knows Asiwaju. He doesn't need introduction. What are you knocking the door for?
You see, the funny aspect of it all is the APC government led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu had told us that their policy is long-term, you know, policy, and it's already they're already getting progress, and that they've made tremendous progress. They've achieved a lot. You know what I know in life is that when you work in an office anywhere, your performance, once your performance is good, you don't need to show yourself. I give an example of myself. You know, I was given a task in my church to conduct election into our parish council committee. And after doing it, I did it honestly and I left. The next time I knew, I was elected, appointed, nominated and elected to be the secretary of the men's fellowship. And I asked why. Because they said, we saw your work, and we felt you can do the work. What am I saying? If Ahmed Bola Tinubu had done so much as proclaimed by his people, as put out there at the public by the media, by his people, his supporters, and all across this country. I don't think they need this door-to-door campaign, like you said. No, but the name is no name to every Nigerian, both great and small. I'm surprised that people who knows better, they are doing what they are doing. Like, for instance, what Obi is doing is different from what Bola Ahmed Tinubu people are doing. Yeah. Because Obi own is understandable. He went into
because now he has registered obedience.
No, that's what I'm going.
Yeah.
He went into election in 2023, and because he lacked organization, he could not. His vote were not counted. He couldn't monitor his vote, and thereby lost the election. So he has taken steps to correct those mistakes. He has set up, an online registration for the obedient movement.
He wants to pick identification of everybody,
so
because you need your name to register.
It's not even a campaign. These are people already in his camp who believe in him. So, but he wants to identify them and put them in a proper perspective where they will go for the election and to ensure that their vote counts. But in the reverse is the case in a case of Bola Tinubu, who is the sitting government, who is supposed to be concerned with governance. And instead of them to be concerned with governance, they are concerned with making Tinubu known to people who are hungry in their home.
Okay, let me give him that benefit of doubt. Nigerians, we are very good at psychophancy. We want to, hey, my leader, hey, the boss, Igwe. People could be doing this. I do know. Yeah, I'm not raising a defense for them. They could be doing this without even the knowledge of Asiwaju. I do know that if they don't have money, if those money were money from enterprise, they will not do that. Nobody will use money from my salary to go and do that. You talked about people doing business. Business is tough. Business is one of the toughest things you can ever think of doing. Nobody will make money from a legitimate business in this Nigeria that is even very harsh to business and go and do that. You begin to wonder, at the end of the day, you are going to almost trace that resources back to the people, which is the government money, because there's no money that belongs to government. It's the people's money.
Yes.
This psychophancy, how do we arrest it in Nigeria?
I don't think the level of poverty that we have now, that psychophancy can stop. Now, if people can feed, people can relate very well, maybe it will stop. But let me a little bit narrow it down to the sponsor of this door-to-door. That's a chief.
For some of them, yeah.
Let me. I want to take Tompolo
yes.
I've met Tompolo one-on-one. He may not know, but I've also had an encounter with him when he bought some jobs to build for his people in Baramatu. From what I've heard of him, I heard he's a very great guy. He's a very, very great guy. And I also like the way he transitioned from being a militant into a business person and now a political figure. And also, I think there's a way he wants to give back to the society. And I'm thinking he's doing what he knows to do. He's not doing better than what he knows to do. But he must also look at the indices. Apart from Baramatu, which he is from, there's a wilder Ijo stretch that can get a lot of education. We have a lot of institutions right now that are an Ijo area, like Nigerian. There's a university in Bayelsa. It's in the enclave of Ijo. We have Niger Delta University.
The one in Wilberforce. Even the one in Wilberforce. I'm also in Bayelsa. I know that one.
Exactly. Then we also have an Ogbe Ijo in Warri, for example. What he needs to do now to put his name on the sand of time is to help the Ijo nation educationally and politically move forward. I will advise him from what he's doing now. By that, people will now see through him what Tinubu is doing. I know he's doing a lot of festival in Baramatu, bringing the world to Baramatu. You see, they just enjoy and go. But the education of a lot of Ijo people will help. As much as he's doing this, because I heard him say that the best we have now is President Tinubu, and that he wants to support him. But there's a lot of other ways through developmental strategy that he can support him.
Okay, I'm just thinking, do you think people who run close to the president, people who walk around him, people who he has direct access to, do you think they believe that Nigerians are telling lies when Nigerians say, anytime Nigerians say there is hunger in the land, there is unemployment in the land, that there is inflation in the land, that the people's purchasing power has been reduced, people's earning, their take home cannot take them home. Do you think they believe Nigerians are telling lies? Do you think they believe this is politics, or they don't really know that people are going through all this, or they do not care? Philip.
The truth remains that if you say they do not know, then you are not being sincere to yourself. The truth is they know, but they refuse to recognize what is happening to the common man in the society. Where do they come from? They are among us. They live within us. So, this sickness they call sarcophagus is a terrible disease that had plagued the Nigerian government supporters. I put it that way because they support the government, so they don't see anything wrong with what the government is doing. Whatever that is happening to the society is none of their business. The society can go and die, provided they are within the corridor of power and they are eating what is meant for the entire society. They don't care. You see, like he said, I think sincerely, like what the obedience are doing, if they had wanted to support Tinubu to succeed for his re-election, is to carry out projects that will affect the common man. It is those projects and what the outcome of those projects that will make the way endow Tinubu to the common man to vote him for the second tenure. That's what the obedience are doing. If you watch Obi and his supporters, even though they don't have government money, anytime there's crisis, you see Obi is there. If there's disaster, that he must be with the victim. Recently he wanted to go to Benue and he was deprived of going there. He was coming from Plateau. Just name it. He was in Padeba's funeral and he made statement. Anywhere. He was in Rome. You see, they should think of doing things that will make the masses to be in love with Tinubu. You don't force your love on, like a man who is chasing a woman. You don't force your love on a woman. You make the woman to love you. Show the extent with which you can provide for the people.
Okay, let me ask you, do you think this door-to-door campaign that is being rolled out is going to have any impact on people who do not have any projects or any developmental index knocking door-to-door to them?
I don't think it's going to have impact. I think it's going to aggravate people's anger.
Exactly. Yes.
That's what I think.
They see those monies as waste.
Yes, and also, but the organizers of the door-to-door would think otherwise because they benefit directly from them. And I also want to throw a little advice to Obi. If Obi needs a presence in Sokoto, he doesn't need to be there.
We talked about it the other day.
Maybe we should resound it.
We should resound it again.
He should create so many Obis.
We said that, Peter, Philip is like, you were not around that day. Just as he was saying, we made it clear, Obi was going to Benue. Sincerely, he wanted to give relief materials to people. If you wanted to give relief materials to people, you believe that those people need those relief materials. If for any reason you were prevented from going there, that's the relief material. You should still find a way of sending it there. There are people in Benue that voted for you. Obi do not have to be physically there.
And that's what Obi is doing by creating this obedience movement registration, so that you will know the person that you are mandated to do a particular job for you. The person that is representing you should be known to you.
But now, a lot of people are known to be, even before now.
Yes,
but this is not an excuse. He knows that. There are people, if he worked on that Labour Party. The truth is that they say, Philip, you are a Christian. The Bible says, whom the Lord loves, he chastises. One of the best way of getting people to do things right is by telling them the truth. This is the psychopathy we're talking about. I'm not accusing you of one. Obi people voted for him.
Do you know what they call themselves? They say unapologetically obedient.
In Benue. In Benue.
Obi is obedient.
Yeah. So even Obi himself is obedient. Exactly. So there are people more obedient than him in Benue.
They say unapologetically.
Obi today, without even raising obedience organization, can get more than 10,000 people in any state to represent him if he wants, and they will go there with their own personal transport. That I can assure you.
In fact, they can gather the material.
They are more obedient than him.
I'm telling you.
So let's be truthful to him. Yes. All right. So coming back to our takeaway, the door-to-door campaign for our president should be by projects, by programs, by unemployment rate reducing.
The gap.
Yes, people want to measure where they were in 2023 and measure where they are now and where they will be in 2027. That will knock the door for them, not a signpost written door-to-door campaign or whatever. Exactly. Okay, we believe the message will be out there for him, and so that he has best use of his money. So he needs to be re-elected, to show that the programs he implemented in 2023 is now would be yielding fruit in 2027. If he doesn't do that, another person can grab it. All right, this is still News Insights. 2027, Nigeria is up for grabs or up for no grabs. It depends on how Asiwaju is able to knock the door of people. Either using projects and programs and performance index to knock the doors of Nigerian people, or someone else will knock the door and certain things might happen. This is News Insights, and we'll be right back.